Hey parents, Mike here with Chaotic Purpose, and I'm going to talk to you about kids and apple seeds. And those two things you wouldn't necessarily think have a bunch in common, but I think they do. So here's how this came about. If you're looking for a good snack at night, I eat this fairly frequently, but I'll cut up an apple and dip it in some almond butter and just a little something before bed. So if you like apples and if you like almond butter, definitely try that. And I only tell you that to tell you this. This is what reminded me. So I'm holding in my little hand here. So I cut the apple up, ate it, and then I cut out the seeds. Obviously, they're tiny, right? We've all seen apple seeds before. And I wanted to share this because I was at a business event many, many years ago, and I never forget this, but a guy named Dr. Miles Monroe got up on stage and he taught for a couple days. And one of the sessions he started out and he's holding some little apple seeds in his hand. And I'm going to share with you what I shared that day because it had a big impact on me. And it really relates to kids. And then I'm going to tie it in to parents as well. But here's what's cool about this little apple seed. If you plant this in some good soil, it gets water and sunlight. It's obviously, or it's obvious what happens, right? An apple tree grows. And what's really cool about that is on that apple tree, within a couple years, will be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of apples. And inside those apples will be more seeds, right? And inside those seeds are more trees. And on those trees are more apples. And inside those apples are more seeds. And obviously this goes on and on and on, right? So inside every tiny little apple seed, even though it seems really small and really insignificant, there's actually an entire apple orchard wadded up and stuck inside the seed, right? And so the purpose of the apple seed is the apple orchard. Now, here's what's really interesting about it. If I hang on to this seed and just keep it on the counter in the kitchen, nothing happens, obviously, right? But as soon as this seed is placed in the proper environment, the purpose of the seed gets unlocked and starts to come alive, right? Here's what's really cool about this. If you put this seed in the correct environment, you don't have to tell it to grow. It just does it automatically, right? The flip side of that is if this seed, again, is kept in my kitchen on the counter and is never placed in the right environment, the seed will never become what it was intended to be, all right? You're already starting to draw the parallels, but here's what's interesting as parents. We are the primary influencers, especially when our kids are little, on their environment, right? And so I just, maybe we just put a little thought into it. What is the environment that we're creating at home? What is the environment that, we're putting them in with school? And maybe you don't have a whole lot of choice in schools. Maybe you do, but again, there are some decisions there to be made. What kind of thoughts are prevalent in our households, right? What do we talk about? What kind of language do we use? That kind of thing. What do we speak into our kids when we're talking to them? And listen, nobody's perfect at this. No parents are. I'm not. My wife isn't. We're not throwing stones here. No judgment, right? I'm just saying, let's think about this stuff, right? What if our kids, just like this little apple seed, because we know that our kids all have something inside them. I believe God put it there. Not all of you agree with me, and that's fine. But regardless of what you believe, you know that there are dreams inside of your kids. There are passions. There are talents, gifts, that kind of thing. And what if they're just like this little apple seed? What if we just helped them cultivate a better environment, right? And what's so important about this is, obviously, when the kids are little, when they're still in our house, we have a major influence on what that environment is. But the other piece to this is I really feel like we need to teach them how to be intentional about their environment as they grow up, right? Because they're going to make decisions on books they read, shows they watch, people they hang out with, right? There's a reason why that saying, birds of a feather flock together, has just made it, been passed down from generation to generation, and that's because it's true. Right? It's pretty easy for a kid, if they decide that they want to get in trouble and get kicked out of school, whatever the decision, it's pretty easy to figure out. Just go hang out with other kids that are going in that direction. But the flip side is also true, right? If you want to become something, chase your dreams, pursue what you're passionate about, make an impact on the world. One of the easiest ways to do that yourself is to intentionally surround yourself with people who are doing the same thing, all right? And so from one parent to another, let's just think about this, right? What if they're like this little apple seed? And what if we just intentionally helped our kids create a better environment? Can't be perfect, but what if we just helped them create a better one? I wonder what would happen. Because again, what's really cool about this seed is when it hits the right environment, you don't have to tell it to grow. It'll do it automatically. And then here's how I want to wrap this up. Parents, what are we doing with our environment, right? We can't tell our kids to be intentional about theirs if we're not paying attention to ours. What I've noticed, and our kids are still little, right? 5, 4, and 2, but they're more in tune with what Carrie, my wife, and I do than what we say a lot of times. All right, and so it's really been an interesting scenario around our house as Carrie and I have realized this. We can't tell them to be kind to each other, and then Carrie and I aren't kind to one another, right? We can't tell them to share, and then we don't share our stuff, right? They're watching, I think they're paying a little bit of attention to what we say, and they're paying a lot of attention to what we do. And so, I really believe that the best way we can help our kids create a good environment for the rest of their life is for my wife and I to demonstrate that by the things that we do. So anyway, I hope that gets you thinking. Here's what I'd like you to do. Throw a couple ideas down in the comments on what do you do around your house, or things that you say to your kids, or maybe you and your spouse or significant other. What do you guys say to each other, or how do you help to create a better environment? Again, they can't be perfect, but what are some of the little things that we can do to help create a better environment? And then watch our kids thrive in those good environments, just like these little apple seeds do when you place them in good soil. Anyway, hope that gets you thinking. Hey, next time you eat an apple, open it up, eat the apple, cut the seeds out of the middle, and then maybe just keep them around your house as a little reminder on how important environment is. Thanks for watching. See ya.